With Pokémon Legends ZA being announced and confirmed to be including everyone and their mum's favorite mechanic, Mega Evolution, I thought, hey, why not make a video relating this to the manga? Which brings us to today's video, giving every single Dex holder the Mega Evolution gimmick. Of course, there are some Dex holders who already have the power to transcend evolution, so for them, I'll be giving them a Mega for a Pokemon they already own or an entirely new Pokemon. I'll also try my best not to feature any duplicate Pokemon, as that's pretty boring. But with all that said and done, let's begin. Oddly enough, we'll be starting with the most recent generation of Pokemon and going backwards, meaning our first trainer will be Scarlet Koito, if that's how you say her name. I know a lot of you won't know anything about Scarlet, but just know that she's a girl dead set on her mission of finding the ruinous legends, with little to no care about anyone or anything else. So for such a ruthless and heartless girl, I've decided to give her Mega Salamence, which would work perfectly. This Pokemon's Dex entry reads about how anyone standing in its path gets sliced right in two, while this Pokemon continues its flight without interruption. So these two would be made for each other, a no nonsense get things done duo. Next up is Violet Lang, who's a boy with the mindset that he's a prince, acting stuck up and arrogant. So for this reason, I've decided to give him Mega Galar to be his loyal knight. This Pokemon is known for its honorable warrior appearance, so serving a quote-unquote prince like Violet would work perfectly, kinda like Darak's Gallade. I'm aware Sapphire also has a Mega Gallade, but this chance works well, so I don't want to miss it. Now we have the Galar region's Casey. Casey's known for her inability to use her inside voice, so for that reason, I've decided to pair her up with Mega Glalie, so that they can be loudmouths together. Okay, that was a bit mean, but I do mean it. For the sole reason Glalie has a massive mouth, and Casey shouts all the time, I'm pairing them together. For Henry, he has the policy of only using Pokemon that have tools, with the only exception being his Urshifu. So to follow along his policy, I've decided to give him Mega Alakazam, the only Pokemon who holds an item, being its many spoons. Henry is a pretty calm and collected guy himself, so a psychic type Pokemon like Alakazam works with no problem. We now have another picky trainer, this time being Moon, who has a fondness for poison type Pokemon, as well as Pokemon who can help with pharmaceuticals. There's 3 poison Mega Pokemon, being Venusaur, Beedrill and Gengar, and out of the 3, Venusaur definitely fits the bill, with its access to powder moves as well as its grass type healing moves. This however does mean that she'll have 2 grass type starters, but that's just how it has to be. For the money man's son, I've decided to give him Mega Sableye, mainly due to its fondness for finding and eating gems. I think some would get along well with this Pokemon, and they could form an agreement to sell some of the gems that Sableye finds, sort of like a mini side hustle, like his Meowth's payday. We now have the Kalos region, where Mega Evolution truly thrives. X and Y already own Pokemon with Mega Evolution, with X's whole team, apart from his starter, being specifically chosen to be Pokemon that can Mega Evolve. But before we get to X, let's talk about Y. For a Sky Trainer like herself, she has a lot of options like Charizard or Pinsir. But in my opinion, there's a clear winner in Pidgeot. If this Mega came out in X and Y, I'm sure without a doubt Y would have gotten one. But Absol with its wing like fur works too. As for X, he could literally have any Pokemon available. But the one I've decided to pick is Mega Lucario. And if I'm being honest, I'm more surprised X never got one at all. In the games, the story goes out of its way to gift you one, and Mega Lucario is described as having a merciless fighting style, and the same could be said for X, who trusts barely anyone. And there's no way a prodigy like X wouldn't have some sort of aura. For Whitley, she's a pretty timid person who wants to make a world a better place for Pokemon, whilst also helping their bonds with humans. So this was a really hard pick to do, as a Pokemon like Mega Ordino probably would have worked perfectly for her, but I wanted to save that for someone else. So instead, I've decided to give her Ampharos, a Pokemon that famously acts as a guiding light for people. Now we have another no-nonsense trainer, however this one being the superior one, being Blake. Much like Henry, his team focuses on Pokemon who are weapon-like, with his Blade Dewott, Cannon Genesect and Sword Keldeo. So for his Mega, we'll be giving him a Drill with Mega Beedrill. This super cool Pokemon rushes its enemies with multiple strikes, and I'm sure Blake would love to have it join his team. For our next trainers, I'm going to be pairing these two together, as it's black and white. These two trainers will be getting Mega Latios and Latias respectively. Now, I know these Pokemon share a bond with Emerald, but as we've learned many times, there isn't only one species of a legendary Pokemon. So for that reason, I'll be giving these two dreamers a Lati each. Latios is a Pokemon that likes trainers with a compassionate spirit, like Black, and for Latias, this Pokemon can communicate telepathically with its trainer, and for someone who tries to understand a situation like White, things couldn't be any better. Next up is Sinnoh, and we first have Platinum. For a similar reason to Violet, I'm going to be giving Platinum Mega Gardevoir, a Pokemon that loyally protects its trainer whilst also looking very elegant. A simple pick that I don't think I have to explain too much. For Diamond and Pearl, I'm also pairing these two together, with their pick being another simple one, with Diamond getting Mega Camerupt and Pearl getting Mega Sharpedo. The reason being that Pearl normally has fast Pokemon and Diamond normally has slow Pokemon, and these two Megas act as each other's counterparts. We go to the Hoenn region next, starting with Emerald, who I've decided to give Mega Banette, a Pokemon with a lot of emotional baggage that would be calmed down by the karma of the Dex Holders, and of course the most important reason, they're both really short. For Sapphire, this is going to be a bit of a boring run, and that's just giving her Aggron the power to Mega Evolve. Out of all the evolutions, the ones that really suit Sapphire, she already has, such as Blaziken and Gallade. So now we'll just be adding Aggron to that list. For Ruby on the other hand, there's a Mega Pokemon that suits him nicely, being Mega Altaria. Due to it being such a graceful and beautiful looking Pokemon, this would be perfect for Pokemon contests. I'm actually quite surprised Ruby never got an Altaria in the first place. Starting off our batch of Johto trainers is Chris, who I've decided to give Mega Lopunny. This Pokemon is all about its destructive kicking, and Crystal is known for famously catching Pokemon by kicking Pokeballs, so it's a match made in heaven. Silver's another trainer like Sapphire, with him already having a Pokemon capable of Mega Evolution, so for him he can just have a shiny Mega Gyarados. Or if you wanted to spice things up a bit, you could give him back a Tyranitar and have it be able to Mega Evolve. Next is Gold, the lovable underdog trainer with a heart of gold. So I've decided to give him a literal dog for his Mega, being Mega Manectric. Gold, along with Yellow and Red, can be considered the electric trio of the Dex Holders, so him having a Mega Manectric would work in that aspect. And now we finally reached Kanto, with our first trainer being Yellow, who I've decided to give Mega Ordinate. Yellow's all about her power to heal and communicate with Pokemon, so who better to pick than the Pokemon that's all about feeling? They also both share a more supporting role in things, with Yellow not liking to battle and Ordinate being used by Nurse Joy in the anime to take care of Pokemon. Now we have Green, and I actually kinda struggled with this one. Green is a trainer who typically uses cute Pokemon, however, she also uses menacing Pokemon like Blastoise and Granbull. So to fit the best of both worlds, I've decided to give Green Mega Mawile, a Pokemon some consider to be cute when first looking at it, but once they see its other side, get scared of its massive jaws. Kinda like Green in a way. Next up is Blue, whose choice is a no-brainer, being Mega Scizor. Scizor was Blue's first Pokemon and original partner, so when it comes to getting a power-up gained through bonds, what better choice than Scizor? Also, this is easily one of the best designed Megas. Last but in no way least, we have Red. Red's choice is also a simple one, being giving his Aerodactyl the ability to Mega. Red often uses Aerodactyl, mainly to fly around, so giving it an extra boost would certainly be welcomed. However, there is another option I could think of when it comes to Megas in Red, and that's of course either Mega Mewtwo Y or Mega Mewtwo X. Ling was able to help Mewtwo transcend, and I'd like to think Red also has a strong enough bond with the Pokemon to activate Mega Evolution. And if they could, I don't think anyone could beat them. But that's just me and my opinions. Let me know your picks for what Megas you'd give to the Dex Holders, or if you agree with my picks. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more Pokemon manga content. And with all that said and done, I'll catch you all in the next one. Take care.